This is code.org, and we are transversing 2D arrays. Now, I want to just point something out. I'm going to open all of these real quick. The requirements for them are a bit different. What I really want to hit upon, though, guys, they're actually trying to make sure you understand is if you look at the show me how for all of these, there's a reason it's the same. We want to make sure that you can transverse 2D arrays correctly, and doing it by the row as the inner portion of our nested loop. So pick which one you are comfortable with, but they all have a lot in common. That being said, I'm going to do A, daily temperatures. A weather analyst wants to determine the average temperature for each day. They have the following values. And as always, guys, 2D array, right? So all right, so rows are 0, 1. Wow, that got way off. Oh well. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are, that's the column. These are the rows. Okay, so with that, where each row represents New York, Los Angeles. Okay, so each row represents a city. Each column represents the temperatures on a certain day. So this might be the 29th, 30th, whatever. Okay, so each row is the city. Each column, so rows are saves. Okay. Now, write the method daily averages. Calculate the average temperature for each day. Okay, well, bloop. Let me get rid of this. Bloop, bloop. And bloom. All right, so for each day, what that's going to mean is we have to iterate down a column, or we have to loop through and iterate row so we can transverse downward to get the average. Like always, I want to point out, use your resources. This is a superb example because it's what we're going to need to do. So write method daily averages. Okay, so I know right away, guys, I'm going to need a for loop, like I said. So mine's going to look a lot like this. Let me hammer some of this in. And here's something that's different. I'm certainly not doing array name. None of my arrays are named array name. So what I am going to do is city temperatures. That's the array that I'm actually going to be using to come up with my calculation. Now, city temps, I guess. Now, I need the row. I need a length of a row because this outside one is column. So row 0 is where I'll start, and dot length is all I need. All right. And then how far do what do I want to do? I want to add one to column each time. Now I'm going to do almost the same thing for rows real quick. Let me hammer that out. Well, boop, paste, boom. All right. So the different though for rows, guys, is that you cannot do this. You want to kill that off because rows, like we've been saying, is if you go over here, look at our array. I'm going to do what I've always done. Bloop, bloop. So there are two arrays. It's a 2D array. The outer array, which is marked here, has 4 indexes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It has 4 rows. Each row is an index. So index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. So when I need to go down rows, I need to iterate this first value. When I need to go across a row, I need to iterate the second. Okay, now we have city temps. City temps is going to return 4, the length of the entire thing, because there's 4 rows. All right, now what do I need? The average. Okay, so I'm going to need a int, or nope, I'm going to need a double because this is a decimal. And, oh, nope, that's good. And AVG equals 0. Nah, I'm going to call this sum. Because really what we're doing is calculating the sum at first. And then I'm going to go, sum is equal to, plus equals. So sum's going to be equal to whatever sum used to be equal to. Plus city temps. Row must go first and then call. And so what this will do is right now I'm just adding up each column, similar to what we did in the last portion of this lesson. I'm just looping through and adding it all up. Now, what I have to do it also, let me make sure, return a string containing the date and, oh, they're getting fancy, the average temperature for that day. Okay, So I need a string, and I'll call this string result. Sure. Equals. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. It's empty. And now I need to return a string array containing the date. For this one, they provide us the dates right here. Now notice, right there. This is a string array. How many indexes? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 indexes, which is the same amount of columns. Perfect. That's what we need to have. And so now down here, since it will be the same length as city temps, I can do, and it does get passed in the constructor, I can do, let's see, I have my result string plus equals, so I'm going to append to that the date, which is dates, we called it, and then I'm going to just use column, because the dates array isn't 2D, so I'm just going to use column, plus I want to have the average. So I'll say March 1st, I don't know, average. You can put whatever you think is good here. Average. And then space. And now I'll go ahead and put my average. Ooh, except I don't need this value, but I want to do it just for clarity. I'm going to calculate the average by taking my sum, and what's an average? It is the amount, it's the total divided by the amount of numbers. The amount is however much data is is the length of the outer array. It's however many rows there are, because that's what we're iterating through. That's what we'll have to divide by. So that would be this. That's the row count. Boom. And now I can go ahead and say average. And then I'll do a new line character at the end, I guess, just for cleanliness. Boom, boom. And then let me return result. Now, I'm sure I have some mistakes in here. Debugging's always the fun part-ish. Let me go head over here, though. Do they already have... Oh, is there not a part 2? Looks like... All right, let's give this a shot. And let's see what we have. Your code hit an exception. Index 5 is out of bounds. Ah! Whoops! That should be row. This is why you should copy-paste and be lazy. And that is looking good to me. Now, keep in mind, guys, you can write whatever you want here. You do need the date, but that's kind of up to you formatting-wise. Now, I want to hit upon one more time, because this stuff's complex, what's happening. This outer loop, it says you got to go through all the columns. We're going to do that at the... And so we're starting with column 0. Boom. This is column 0. The reason we're doing that is we need to get the average of each column, because each column is a date. This is March, whatever, 29th. So we're going to go through this column, add them all up to get an average. And that's how we use row. So I say sum's equal to 0, column 0. Bam. We go down here. Row is equal to 0, right? Because we haven't gotten this number yet. Row must be less than the length of the city temps array. The length of the city temps array is how many columns? It's 4. So row has to remain less than 4. Row starts at 0. Let's keep going. Sum is going to be equal to whatever sum used to be equal to. Sum is currently equal to 0. Plus city temps row. What's row? Row right now is 0. Column right now is 0. So 0 plus 37.29, 0.27. I'll just say 37. Sum is 37. Bam. Hit the bottom, back to the top. First thing we got to know, hey, is row greater? Is row still less than city temps.length? Yeah, row 0. 0 is less than 4. Well, row plus plus is actually what would occur. So 1 is 1 less than city temps.length. 1 is still less than 4. We drop down. Sum is 37. It's going to be equal to what it used to be equal to. So 37 plus city temps row 0. So row 1, 62, column 0. And we add that up. That, of course, gives us 99. And we hit the bottom. And then we keep going down the column until we get our total. Bam. And once we're there, we drop out, right? Because we are now at row is going to be equal to 3. Row plus plus is 4. Is 4 less than the length of the array? No, 4 is not less than 4. We're done with our for loop. I then created this average variable. Average is going to be equal to, well, sum divided by length, 4 numbers. The sum divided by 4. Then I append to my results array whatever data that we have. We hit the bottom of this, and I go zoop. Now we go to the next column, right? Columns currently equal to 0, column plus plus, columns equal 1. Is 1 less than the length of all the columns in the first row? Yeah, because the columns in the first row are 5. So we keep going. Sum is reset to 0, so on and so forth. Now, I put average for readability. If you want, you can stick it down here. You just got to be a bit fancy about it. That being said, yeah, hey, it works. Onward.